rejecting claims seemingly for no apparent reason. That's the striking criticism being levelled at the Ministry of Defence by Fighting with Pride, the charity set up to support those impacted by the ban on LGBT people in Britain's armed forces.
The charity says too many veterans are being denied access to the financial recognition scheme created to compensate those who were dismissed from the armed forces simply because they were gay. And while there have been significant gains for LGBT veterans in recent years, including a public apology from a Prime Minister and the unveiling of a memorial to LGBT service personnel by the King, some veterans say they feel left behind and excluded from those efforts.
We've spoken to two men who were dismissed or made to resign after being suspected of being gay. They say the MOD is refusing them access to reparation schemes designed to compensate them for their lost careers. If accepted onto the schemes, the men could receive up to £70,000.
It's a kick in the backside, isn't it, if you think about it? I've had the letter from the Prime Minister and the Chief of Staff saying sorry for what's happened to you, and then they turn around and I get the letter saying that, that we're not going to give you anything.
Stephen Waring was accused of being gay in 1982. He was just 16 years old and still in basic training.
I was marched up to the commanding officers, and that's when I found out that they wanted to talk about why am I puff, why am I a puff? And I'm 16. I didn't understand that word. I didn't know what they meant, and there was accusations being thrown around that they thought I was a gay man. It brought the family. My father didn't speak to me for a long, long time after that. Probably didn't have a proper conversation with him till he died.
Stephen applied to one of the MOD's reparation schemes, which pays a flat £50,000 to those dismissed from the military under the gay ban. A second scheme can top that payment up by up to £20,000. But the MOD rejected his application, saying he resigned voluntarily.
At that period of time, back in 1982, I was asked two things by my commanding officer. You can either go the easy way, or you can go the hard way. I signed these forms. Naive, 16, no parents there, nothing.
Stephen, who isn't gay and has always maintained it was a wrongful accusation that cost him his career, says he knows of former officers who were ordered to resign and have since received £50,000 payouts. He says that's unfair.
It's a two-tier thing, isn't it? Why I want to know why an officer can resign his post and still get paid, but a normal serving soldier, airman, Navy rating, won't be able to get it.
In response to Mr. Waring's case, the MOD told Forces News it did not comment on individual cases. However, it said former officers who were, as it puts it, ordered to resign or retire their commissions by their relevant service board are included in the financial recognition scheme. The MOD added, excluding these officers would unfairly exclude all officers from the payment, as there was no other method for their administrative discharge.
I travelled to Surrey to meet a veteran of the RAF who was dismissed in the 1960s. He too's been refused access to the financial recognition scheme.
I've been punished twice. Almost forgot about it all because it wasn't relevant till all this happened. And then I felt as if I'd been punished again. I'd had to relive what I'd been through in 1966.
The military learned of Chris's sexuality in the summer of 1966. He was court-martialled and dishonourably discharged. He says he was abused.
The SIB were quite aggressive. They even indicated to me that I could have an ordinary discharge, which I declined because they wanted the names of everybody I knew of in the Air Force. And I decided I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to put other people through what I was going through.
And did you know there were other people?
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, of all ranks, in fact.
But the MOD has refused his application because the scheme only applies to dismissals from 1967 onwards. It means he misses out on eligibility by months.
That sort of hit me pretty bad. And I thought, why have I been rejected? You know, for the sake of, I think, about 3 months.
In response to Mr. Dennis's case, the MOD again said it did not comment on individual cases. However, it advised that the Financial Recognition Scheme accepts applications from 1967 onwards because the date aligns with the introduction of the Sexual Offences Act, which decriminalised homosexuality in England and Wales. The armed forces were explicitly excluded from that act, meaning homosexuality in the military remained a criminal offence under service law. Since the Financial Recognition Scheme launched last year, more than £32 million has been paid out to veterans across two sub-schemes. The first, known as the Discharge or Dismissal Scheme, pays £50,000 if an application is successful. So far, more than 600 decisions have been made from almost 1,000 applications received. It's this scheme that both Stephen and Chris have been excluded from. A second scheme, known as the Impact Payment, provides up to an additional £20,000 based on the impact the ban had on an individual. But progress here has been much slower. Just 316 decisions have been made so far. The scheme is overseen by Lord Brian Paddock, the former Deputy Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police.
Well, there were delays in appointing me as chair. It had to be a ministerial appointment, as it did for the panel members. And so we didn't actually start sitting until May of last year. It is a lot to do when it's taking a day and a half to prepare for each of these panels now, and half a day to do each panel.
The MOD says it's making Lord Paddock's team bigger and increasing the number of meetings held to assess applications. But some veterans who have received impact payment decisions say they are unhappy by the amounts offered. Forces News also understands that the maximum award of £20,000 has only been made on a handful of occasions.
Some people have had the most dreadful experience, and those individuals we've given the maximum award to. And then we have to calibrate between those people who have suffered with to such a great extent against the experience of other people. And it wouldn't be fair on the people who have had these whole series of devastating things happen to them that we've given the maximum award to, if we gave that same award to people whose suffering has not been as great.
In response to our story, an MOD spokesperson said, "We deeply regret the treatment of LGBT serving personnel between 1967 and 2000, which was wholly unacceptable. While the process is complex and involves coordination across multiple areas of defence to gather supporting evidence, we are ensuring each application to the Financial Recognition Scheme is handled fairly." Time is running out for veterans impacted by the ban to apply to these schemes. Applications must be submitted by the end of 2026. Fighting with Pride says the MOD isn't doing enough to advertise the scheme and its looming deadline, something officials have pushed back on. For veterans like Stephen and Chris, the effort to right the wrongs of the past, which has brought closure to many, has not yet extended to them. They're now calling on the Veterans Minister and the government to look at their cases again. James Wharton, BFBS Forces News. Thanks for watching. For more from BFBS Forces News, like and subscribe to our channel.